I can't hear anything.
There you go. Can you hear me now?
I hear you.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
All right. You guys, can
I
you hear
got
me
you.
now? All right.
I hear you.
Can you hear me?
I
Great.
got an echo.
I got it. I fixed it.
Okay.
My phone's going off. So as I was saying, Shane, we get to embark on a new week and new episode, and we get to see what we got coming down the pike this week.
Yep.
With you, you're embarking on a whole new adventure. You leave,
Oh
I do believe it's
my.
Tuesday.
Yes, it is.
And as I was saying, because my dumb ass didn't have my mic on, so I'll just do it all over again. But I'm glad that your and I's path crossed, and we
Oh,
become
yeah.
good friends. And we are not. I think we're past the friend. I think we're more like family anymore.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And you know, it's just been great, man, racing with you and having fun
Yep.
and just absolutely a blast. You
It
know.
has been. I mean, matter of fact, we were on the phone a little bit ago and we were talking about Addie and her boyfriend and how like you're a second father to her and stuff like that. But it was an honor and a pleasure, and it's just as I said, if anybody's seen my post from earlier today, to promote our podcast and stuff like that, Phil goes looked like he was gonna tear up a couple times, and I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
it's sad to know that it's not an end, but a beginning to us, veering off in a kind of a different direction. But you are all still family to me. We're still coming back up for a couple times. As I said, I did my thank yous in that quick little video of the people that meant probably the most to me in this sport. I wanted to make sure that they know that if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be where we're at today.
Well, hey, man, this is not a tearjerker episode by
No,
any means. Hell no.
no,
This is not what
no,
we're about.
rock and
We're
roll.
Yeah. So, like, I just, hey, as going
Just
back as you were saying, as we was talking earlier, I am legally obligated if I get a phone call. Hey, Addie, hey, like you said, it's going to be a three-way call. Her
uh-huh.
grandpa and me, and it's going to be a race to get there. We're obviously going to beat you there, so it's all good. And then on the weekends, she's going to be with her grandpa, and she's going to be with
Uh,
me and Trevor.
yep,
So
yep,
wherever we go racing, they're going to go with us. You know what I
yep,
mean? So
exactly.
it's all good, man. I cannot wait to see what happens down there with you and your racing, and I know you have a plan of going down there and just watching for a while and get used to everything down there. And I'm really, honestly, I'm excited to see
Yep.
what the hell goes
So
on. here, man. I love the differences. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
we, I'm
So
looking
next,
to
so
it.
next Saturday, I'll be going live from Savannah, Georgia, on
There
our
you go.
podcast.
You hear it, man. That's the way it's supposed to be. We're all fun. But the thing is, for you, you lucky dog, they don't even shut down racing. So I mean, like, what's their first race of the year? January,
So when I was looking at a couple of them, we're looking at I think one of them was like mid February was
mid
one.
February.
Yeah, now they're bigger tracks and stuff. They set their schedule already. They got a couple races in February for their bigger dirt tracks and stuff like that. At least the one that's it's we're going to be in a town called Statesboro, which is about 40 minutes, 45 minutes outside of Savannah, Georgia, and I trust me, that's one of the first things I looked up is where these tracks are at. So yeah, I think it was like February or so, but I'll post it up and I'll post some videos up for some of the racing they do down there. I'm looking forward to watching these with their legends is a big thing down there I noticed, and I'm kind of excited to watch those. So, but yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. Looks like Phil kind of froze up on us. So anyway, real quick, so before Phil, they're having some storm issues and stuff like that at his place, so there could be a moment where they go in and out of power and stuff like that. So I'll sit here and chit chat and stuff like that before he maybe, yeah, and there he's back. There he's
Hey
back.
man, sorry.
I was, I was close.
We're having storms, man. So it's kind
Yeah.
of knocking my internet in and around. So
So
I apologize.
I,
Maybe we'll get through it. Um,
I
so
said I
I
just
do
said
have a
that.
question for you before we
Go ahead.
bring
Go
up
ahead.
our two guests. Um, is is your wife excited to go racing somewhere else? Because I know she turned into a really big supporter
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
this
She
and
is.
in your venture. So
Oh yeah, because I'll
she
believe
is.
her. That's one person that backs this whole thing 110%. I couldn't ask for a better partner in life, better wife, and everything because she, if you've been around her a lot, Phil, and people that know Mauer Racing and seen us, that Amanda is first and foremost the front of everything we do. She's
Right.
wrangles up the kids. She's in the pits, helping me wrench sometimes in the garage and stuff like that. So yeah, she is a huge uh, supporter and backer of what we do. But she's excited to go and
Nice.
learn the other tracks, though. Yep, yep.
Great.
So
So, all about today's episode, man, is we got Wyatt from Outlaw Karting here coming up here in a little bit. He's kind of new to the scene. We kind of got turned on to him earlier this year. He's
uh-huh.
followed us to a couple good races,
Hmm.
and he's been with us for a good bit of time racing. And then we also have a special one is Addie, your daughter, is going to come
Yes.
on the podcast, and we're going to
Yes.
ask all kinds of stuff, man. I've got some questions. So I'm going to bring Wyatt up, and we'll get him on here, and we'll get Addie. Hey guys, how you guys doing tonight?
Good. How are
Good.
you?
Look
Good,
good.
good,
Look good,
good.
guys. Look good.
I'm glad you guys can meet us here and take time and spend your glorious Sunday evening with us two knuckleheads on this podcast that we just talk a lot of random crap and a lot of crap about racing, man. That's what we do. So I'm going to start with Wyatt, Mr. Outlaw Karting. There, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, good. So I I have a question. How did you get into karting?
Well, my good old buddy Charlie Sargent, he races with us, and he pretty much got me into it. Went over to his house, and I saw his cart out there outside the house, and I was like, Now, is this fun? And he's like, oh, I spend every weekend doing this. I'm like, okay, well, I'm normally not busy on the weekends, but I went to Bob Wright and then I bought a cart, and my weekend's been pretty full of racing, and I love it. I'll never back down from it because it's a real fun hobby, and it's an all season thing. All summer long and till the end of fall.
Right.
So
What attracts you to the racing side of this?
Yeah.
Really,
I've talked to
I've
you and your
always
dad at
liked.
the racetrack plenty of times, and your dad is like a real big pulling tractor guy. Is that correct?
Yes, we do pull a lot of tractors.
Okay, so you ventured off into the karting world. So
Yep.
that's got to
I
be
mean, I
kind
still
of big
evening it
and
out a little
different.
bit.
Okay, okay. So what attracts you to the kart side of this?
Well, when I was younger, I always used to be into like the smaller engines and stuff, like mostly the Hondas and the Honda clones and the um, just the smaller type of engines because when I was little, first started off with a mini bike, and then the mini bike kind of went a little aggressive. We went overkill on the motor a little bit, and I just
Okay.
kind of I don't really know. I mean, I'm not totally sure. Really, it's just the people.
So
Okay.
so
So what? Go ahead, Shane. Go
no
ahead.
no so you said you got into it with a buddy and stuff like that. He got you into it, and so when you decided to get into the go kart racing, and how many years have you been doing this? Is it your first, second, third year
This is
of
my
doing
first.
your first year? Okay, gotcha. Now that being said, um, when you got your first cart, what you're like, what did you struggle with when you got your first cart?
Uh, traction, traction issues, and just tires. And then just kind of learning how to drive it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know with us in our first year and stuff like that, that was some of the things that we struggled with. I mean, Addie over there. I mean, there's so many times that I can't turn, and I'm like, yeah, you can. And we're fighting with each other. But no, so those are some of the things that we battled with, our first year and stuff like that. But and then, um, uh, your first year, what kind of expectations did you have for your first year?
Um, like what did I think was gonna happen?
Yeah, yeah. What was you thinking was going to happen for your first year?
Honestly, I thought I was just gonna be like you know, I didn't think I was gonna win as much or get on the podium like over at Jug Run. I didn't think I was gonna even be on the podium, and pretty much just after a new set of tires, there I am on the podium.
Uh huh.
But I didn't think that I was going to at least be able to get in front of somebody and get like
Yeah,
at least seventh place out of eighth.
yeah, yeah,
I thought I was going to be a little slow, like just like I'm slow.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean,
So
it's.
so
Go ahead, Phil.
so with that being said, I mean, what besides the tire, was there any other turning point in this season that you thought, man, I can dig this. I really like the karting thing, and I mean, how does that go in your head?
Um, you're gonna have to dumb that question down for me a little bit.
Okay, so as when you started, right, and
Yep.
you said that you didn't do very well, you had a traction problem.
Hmm.
Then you got a new set of tires on your cart, and it changed, right? You were able to
Oh
move
yeah.
up through the field. You was actually able to get farther than what you thought.
Hmm.
So at what point after you got your tires and you were like, "Oh yeah, I can dig this now. I'm competitive." What was your thought line like after that? Was it like, "Oh yeah, this is for me," or is it just are you still working on that or
I mean, once I got a new set of tires, it changed the whole entire traction issue. It just made it to where I was sticking the whole time. And then being able to pass people in turns and coming out of turns and doing a um like a slider, and I was actually able to I was actually progressing like after the tires, like it felt easier to drive, and I was actually able to take control of the wheel instead of the wheel just doing whatever the hell it wanted to.
Mhm.
okay? So are you like a full blown this is what I'm going to devote a lot of my time to?
Oh yeah,
Or
and my
are
money.
you one of those guys that are like, I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. It's great. I'm glad to hear that from a first time guy being out on the track. Uh, it's just great because this sport, and let's face it, it's a sport, right? And
Hmm.
um, you have to devote. There's so much that goes on being
Mhm.
a cart owner and racing between uh, cart maintenance, maintenance on yourself, the way you think. You know what I mean? If you go
Yeah.
out there and you just think that you're going to light the world on fire, you're going to have a really bad outcome. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? There's a thing of being confident, but you can't be too confident in this because, I mean, there's guys out there that have been doing this for a lot longer than we have,
We've
right?
had we've
And
we've
they
had some
just,
guests on here that's been doing it for a very
yeah,
long time.
for
That
a
know more
very
that
long time.
that know more than Phil and I, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, exactly. And I just like blows me away that we can get a newbie
Mhm.
and uh, they can change one little thing on their cart and now they're running in the top and
Mhm.
it's like, oh nope, this is what I'm doing. I'm devoting everything I got,
Mhm.
my money, as he says, and we're
Yep.
going to go for it. And that's exactly what I like. That is great. That's we need guys like this. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's great.
Well,
And so, what's your
one thing,
plans for next year? What,
My plans for next
what's your
year, oh,
plans
I'm
next
going
year,
super
Wyatt?
stock.
super stock.
Are you really? You're going to go super stocking? That's
Oh yeah.
great, man. I mean, was it that? Did you? I mean, what gave you that? What made you want to go super stock racing?
Well, this past season, after I got the new tires, and once I started learning how to drive it, get my line set, and actually find my line on the track while I'm out there, uh, I got kind of tired of going the same exact speed. I wanted to go a little bit faster.
Okay.
And the only way to do that is to add power and just I gotta figure the card out right in the beginning of the season. So add some power and just go to super stock.
So you're jumping in, man. You are in it.
Mhm.
You
Yes,
are
I am.
definitely going to be in it, man. That's great, man. I am so ecstatic to hear that you're going super stock racing. I think you're going to be very competitive. I mean, it's that is a competitive field. I'm not going to lie to you. That's
Mhm.
Yeah.
competitive. You got some top dogs in that field, man.
Mhm.
That I don't know where you plan on racing at, but if it's anything like you have been, and it's going to be at Jug or wherever, if I mean it's that's competitive. That's a
Mhm.
competitive class, real
Mhm.
competitive. I mean, it's great. I'm glad to hear it. I can't wait to see what you're able to do out there this year, and
Mhm.
maybe hopefully kick some ass out there. You know what I
So
mean? 'Cause that is a
I
competitive class.
I do have one thing, some little bit of advice for like going into your second year, and I did this going into my second year. Is I'm like, man, this is something I'm struggling with, and I devoted my time to studying. And Phil,
Yes.
add in, and they can attest to this. Is what was one thing I said I'm going to try to do my best to learn, and it was I decided to learn tires. And how do I make tires work for me? The brand of tires I run. I studied them. I looked up websites. I did testing. I tried this. I tried that, and then I finally figured out what worked for me. So I recommend that for you going into your second year is figuring out something. If it's gearing ratios, if it's a cart setup, if it's the tires, something, study it. Study the crap out of it to where
Right.
you know it inside and out.
Hmm.
And then the following year after that, think of something else. This off season, for myself, I want to learn like chassis setups.
Hmm.
I want to know how I can. We looks like we just lost Phil. As I said, he's having some power and internet issues and stuff like that. He told me it could be an instance where I ended up hosting it. But anyway, so that being said, I look into that in your off season. I can send you um, a this book Addie and I bought there. What was I can't remember. What was that book called, Addie?
I'm pretty sure it's a beginner to winner. I don't
Beginner
know
to
who it's from though.
Yeah, I can send you a link to it um, on your messenger and stuff. I bought that book and it was like literally the Bible for go-kart racing. I mean, it really, really was. It told you how
Mhm.
to set a cart up, how to maintenance it, how to grease it, uh, just literally everything to the point you're looking at it. It was information overload. But really highly recommend it. And then I'll have a real question, one last kind of question for you, Wyatt, before I'll move on to Addie and ask her question. So, going into the 2025 season, what is something that you're looking forward to?
I would say like new tracks like Honda
New track?
Hills.
Yeah.
Probably going to I-70 a couple times. Um, Definitely River Valley, and maybe we're not going to try to spend too much time at Jug Run.
Yep.
I kind of want to get out of the kind of get out of the hole a little bit and try different tracks and just kind
Yeah.
of see if that will make me more competitive.
Uh-huh.
Because like you can race at Jug Run, and
Uh-huh.
then you can if you're racing there long enough, you can go to other tracks and then be competitive as well.
Yeah, yeah, and we've had some other track runners. We've had, matter of fact, last week we had Two Brothers Raceway. In between, I think Chillicothe and Jackson, and what they're doing there sounds great. Um, I like what they do. The RLA benefit race that they hold sounds amazing. January 11th, they have that polar bear race going on.
I'm going to that one too. I'll be
Are you get
there.
you'll be there? So that's awesome. Uh, but yeah, so that sounds great that you're wanting to hit all these other tracks, and that's what we're trying to do too, is get some of these track owners on here, so then everybody can see what tracks are out there to go explore it all. Muskingum, we got Little Muskie, they got their track they run, and then what's great about it too, now you're learning that they're running Friday night, Saturday night, and with Two Brothers, you can race Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
That's
So
awesome.
that's awesome. So I'll go down to you, Addie, real quick. So Addie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
If anybody doesn't know, Addie's my daughter, and so Adeline, real quick question: what got you into this sport?
Um, Honestly, my first race, it was a fundraiser and I was racing a yard cart and there was a bunch of these flat carts racing around and I lost. But I really liked this sport and I ended up buying a flat cart 2 days later.
2 days later.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that fundraiser you did. So what did you bring to the race? What was it?
I brought a cart with a cage on it and treaded tires, and it was like a bench, and it was like this big yard cart that you're not supposed to race on asphalt.
So after we bought our flat cart, where what did you think after that?
I love this sport. I know I got beat, but fell in love with it. I saw how fast they went. I saw the passion that everybody else had, and I was like, yes, I want that.
You want that?
Mhm.
So so then when we went to our very, very first race at a oval dirt track, what'd you think?
I was freaked out because we just brought one toolbox, one go-kart, and I had no idea what I was doing.
we,
I
we
had zero idea.
we brought that up a few times. We showed up with a cart, bulk tires, and a wrench.
Yep.
We did. And what happened?
Phil and Trevor, they came to the rescue and they did their little magic and then they fixed the car and I ended up winning my first race.
You won your first race. Yes,
Mhm.
exactly. So that first year that you ran, tell us a little bit about that your first year that you did it.
My first year, I ran in the kids class, which was like a couple of little kids, like 4 or 5 years old. Me, I'm like 13, racing with a bunch of 4 and 5 year olds. Didn't know exactly what I was doing. They knew everything about their car, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. But I had a blast with it. I ended up having to move up because of what Trevor and Phil did. They just fixed my cart right up and made it super fast. So I moved up to the Kids Advanced and I raced in there for a little bit. I also raced part of Kids Advanced in my second year, but then I ended up moving to stock powder puff.
Stock powder puff. Now last year, this past year, tell us a little bit about your advancement from your first year to your second year and how that went.
I learned more about the track. I got to know different routes, like how to run higher, how to run lower, and like tire pressures, like the difference between tire pressures and the different gears to run with their different clutches. That really helped learning about that with that book that we got. We used that book and I read it and I was like, okay, I know what I'm doing. So I knew a little bit more about what was happening.
A little bit more, yes. And then now that we're going into another season next year. So what is, and as I told White a little bit ago, how we study something. What is something that you want to study for this off season to do better with going into this next season?
I think that we're gonna work on my chassis and the weight distribution so we can get my cart scaled and get the right weight distribution so that my cart can glide better around corners.
Well, of course. So what was something that you were struggling with?
Turning.
Turning.
My yes, I got a brand new cart and that thing will not turn for anything.
It,
Nothing.
so if people are listening and stuff like that, because it's real funny, is that we bought this brand new cart and we were so excited to get this cart. And we
Mhm.
got it out on the track. Addie pulls off the track. She goes, "This thing's a piece of junk. I hate it. It won't
Mhm.
turn." Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, "Whatever, dude.
Mhm.
Whatever." So we changed some tire pressures here, threw some weight here, took off weight here, sent her back out there. She came in 90 miles per hour off the track and throws her helmet, breaks her shield, and goes, "This thing won't turn. I hate it." Rah, rah, rah. I'm like, whatever, dude. You just need to turn sooner. And I'm me being, the pit crew guy in the stands, doesn't really know what's actually happening with the cart. I was like, fine. So we was all done. It was at the end, so we could hop in. I hopped in her cart. I drove it a few times around the track, and I came off track. And I'm like, Addie, you're right. It don't turn. It don't
Mm-mm.
turn. It don't turn
It
at
does
all.
not turn
It
at
did not
all.
turn at all. So
Mm-mm.
that's something that this I told her this off season I'll take that cart and I'll get it fixed and stuff
Mhm.
like that. And so Addie, going into next season, what are some of the things you're looking forward to?
I am looking forward to trying out different tracks and meeting new people at those new tracks, trying to give them advice, getting new advice
Yeah.
about what to do with my car, what to do differently, what they could do differently, I could tell them. And
Hmm.
like trying to help them improve on what how they prep their tires, what gears they run, and how to run like corners and what line they take. That may improve their driving. And also I would take some advice for my driving to make me a better driver. I can't hear him. I can't hear you.
Yeah, Shane, we can't hear you.
There we go. My mic got bent. So pretty much taking being a mentor to younger kids. What you're saying?
Oh yeah, yeah,
You're learning, and then learning from the ones who's been there for a minute.
yeah.
Awesome. So Wyatt, real quick with you. So what was some of the highlights from last year for you?
Um, Probably just getting on the podium at Jug Run, and then also winning um the 200 plus box stock over at River Valley for the
Mhm.
like that Halloween Hovac event.
Yep. Yeah, that was a little fun event that we did over there. So, what are some of your struggles that you did have last year? What was some of the struggles that you ran into?
Like I said, traction, turning, and then um, trying to like set up my cart just to get it to turn, and then also just setting it up like um, because at first I didn't know anything about like tire prep or anything like that until some of my teammates. I'm gonna go ahead and shout them out, Brian Crum and Charlie Sargent, and I can't leave out Draven Crum. They've kind of helped me figure that stuff out. Um, but those are the main issues that I've had. But now that I know that stuff, uh, I do it throughout the week. I'll prep my tires throughout the week, um, and then I'll wrap them and saran wrap and stuff. So yeah.
That was one of the things that I was telling Phil today with the show. I wanted to focus on you guys are new, and what got you in this sport and um, where you want to take it from here. Since you guys this is like your first year, like next year's expectations compared to what last year was. Is this something you're still interested in? Something you still want to do and stuff like that. So that's why I wanted some new guys instead of some of the veterans we've had on here. Has been there, been doing it for years and years and years that can do this in their sleep. With you guys being so new, um, what your expectations are and stuff like that. So, Addie, real quick with you, what was some of your highlights from last year?
My highlights, I my some of my highlights there may not be good highlights, but I went to River Valley and I don't do good at that track because I drove my cart that did not turn, and it's a really circular track, and I did not have a good time with it. But I think if I try it on that track a lot more this coming season, I'll get it and I'll be really good at that track.
Yeah, you did good. I thought you did really well. You hung in there with some of their guys there,
Mhm.
and I think with you, you got an attitude that's which is we call you attitude, and and I think if you would have checked some of your attitude at the door, you would have done better than what you did. But you're right,
Yeah.
it was a newer track for you and stuff like that. So, but you did have some wins though this year, right?
Yes, I did. There was one where I lapped everybody in the thing in the at the track at Jug, and I was so happy. And I think I won 8 times this past season, which is really good. And I'm planning on winning a couple next season too.
Only a couple,
Maybe more than a couple.
only a couple.
Maybe more than a couple.
Are you looking to stay in the powder puff class, or you want
Mm-mm.
to?
I am hoping to either go to super stock or go to box stock next season.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And then with you, Wyatt, for also going into like next year and stuff like that. You said you were going into super stock, right?
Yes,
And
sir.
I don't know, have a whole lot of experience, or I would say knowledge, a whole lot in the super stock. But I do know what's going on with it and stuff like that. Now, or is this a motor you're planning on creating yourself, or you're outsourcing your motor, or what are you planning on doing with that?
I was thinking about building it myself. It's just I don't feel like screwing it up, so I'm probably gonna have someone else build it. I was thinking actually about talking to Phil about it. So
How's your connection, Phil?
I think I fixed it. Don't know.
Okay.
I hear
Okay.
you now.
Okay,
Sorry,
so because
guys.
I'm not gonna lie real quick, why everybody's listening here real quick. I cannot be the serious person, so I can't ask the serious questions. I'm like, man, Phil, get on here because he's got my serious side of things. Because if it was up to me, I want to say a whole bunch of jokes and make it
We
into a
lost them
comedy
both.
show. So I want to turn it over to Phil. Phil, you ask some questions here for these guys.
Well, I mean, Addie, we've been around a long time, right? And I remember one very instant last year that I had to go to your dad, and I was like, I am literally going to rip into your daughter. And you were driving like a maniac. And I don't know if you remember that race or not, but I come up into the pits and I'm like, Addie, what in the hell are you doing? You cannot do that. You remember that race?
Yeah,
Do you
you
not
do.
remember it?
I think we lost them both.
Hey, you hear me, Addie? Addie,
Well,
I hear you.
so I remember that one very vividly because I was
Yes.
like, man, I'm just gonna. At first, I went to Shane and I was like, Shane, you need to tell your daughter. And you're like, hell no, you go tell her. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, but
Yeah.
I'm going to be a little stern, you know? And I mean, I will remember that because she just looked at me like, how dare you yell at me? You know what I mean? Like, I can't believe like you just yelled at me.
Do you
I
hear us,
was
Addie,
like,
real quick? She may not be able to hear us, but yeah. So backstory on that, what Phil's talking about, real quick. I remember as plain as day. This girl was just running people
over. I
over.
was like, my God,
She
what are
she
you
wasn't
doing?
even she wasn't even trying to pass. She was pushing people out of the way, and
Yeah. I,
and she. What did she finish that race? What, second or something like that? I
I
can't.
don't remember, man,
I,
but I just come to you and I'm like, look, man, you need to go talk to your daughter
I
because
was
she is driving crazy like a mad woman. And you're like, nope,
nope.
you go tell her. And I was like, okay, but it ain't going to be good.
And I was
You
like,
know?
that's fine because she needs to hear it from somebody else other
Right,
than me.
right.
So, and I was
So
like, Go ahead, Phil."
I
I
was, oh,
remember that day. It
God.
was funny.
Yeah. So Wyatt, so, okay, so we go first time ever being at River Valley. We put on a race there. You go out there, you handled your business and you just drove really good. The cart was set
Hmm.
up really good. So after that, you know, we kind of did a little experiment there at Jug. And so is that kind of like
You're frozen.
how is that kind of how you want to go? Like, is that what made your termination that you want it to go to super stock?
yes,
Is
exactly.
I figured. Like that's the first time I ever met your parents, your mom and dad,
Yeah,
and they kept asking me, they're like, "Why are you helping?" And I'm like, "Dude, that's what it's about. You know, it's about
yeah,
making friends and family, and because like all you guys at Jug Run are all like family, you
hmm
know. So, I mean, that's great, and I am glad that that is the outcome. But I think you'll do very well in super stock. It's a very competitive. It's very
yeah,
competitive. That class is tough, man. That class is really, really tough. But I mean, you got some really, really good drivers on that in that class,
hmm
and oh, I mean, dude, I think you'll be just fine. I just keep your confidence up, and we'll talk after this. I'm sure we'll get you in the right ballpark in the right game, but I think you'll do fine. I think it's a really good class for you. I
Yeah.
really do. I think it'll fit your driving style. Now is Charlie and Mr. Crumb, are they staying down in the
I
stock?
think they're gonna stay box stock. Um, I think earlier on they were talking about going straight into modified.
Right.
But I feel as though they're just gonna kind of stay. I mean, if you think about it, modified is pretty expensive.
Can
Um,
be.
yeah, at times, like yeah. So I
Can
think they're
be.
gonna stay box stock just because it's like it's one of the cheaper classes, but it's one of the most competitive classes as well. Because I mean,
Right.
if you think about it, all of them are basically the same. So like all the racers, they have different weight classes, of course, at Jug Run and like other tracks. Um,
Right.
I feel as though it'll be good for them. But for me, I just like to send it and just go all the way. But I'm just gonna work my way up to the top of the ladder.
Well, I mean, that is a great way to be, because like, so I mean, my backstory is like, I would have never got into this, to be 100% truthful. um Trevor started, he bought a very older chassis and got into
Mhm.
it and went to a couple tracks, and then we ended up going to Jug,
Yeah,
and that has kind of been our home place ever since then. And then I've got to give mad props to Ben Weiland, because he come to me and he was like, "You are racing," and I was like, "Oh no, I'm not either." You know what I mean? But he's really, if he wouldn't have pushed me, I wouldn't be doing this right now. So a lot of my
yeah,
props go to him, and he kind of created a monster with me, like I'm doing with you. But I went strictly from stock. He come to me one weekend and he was like, "Okay, we're going to mod. We're going to stock appearing mod." And I was like, "The hell if I am. I can't afford that." You know what I mean? And he was like, "Oh no, you're going with me." So he went up one week prior, and then the next week we got my stuff done and I went up with him, and me and him has always had this very competitive, friendly battle between us two. And that's how I got into mod. And then it just got, you have two crazy guys sitting talking all the time, and you're like, "I wonder if we can do this, I wonder if we can do that," and we do it, and then it works, and we're like, "Holy shit, it worked." You know what I mean? Like, I cannot believe this works. But that's the reason I like mod, is because you get to experiment a little bit differently,
Hmm.
yeah.
with stock appearing. But I'm telling you, man, like Trevor, we built Trevor a super stock motor, and he did very, very well. And that motor, my God, that was 2 years ago. And that motor to this day is still holding up. And that motor, I went out there with mods, stock appearing at River Valley, and was very competitive with that motor. So stock appearing has the power if they're done right, and you can win races. I mean, Trevor has proven that in that class, being very competitive. And then uh I don't know if he'll say it or not, but whatever his dad decides, he just goes with it. Because one weekend I was like, "Hey, I'm moving you to mod." We got this hair up our butt sitting in the. I think we were actually sitting in Ben's shop, and I was like, "Let's move Trevor up," and he was like, "Let's do it." So we built it, and he the next weekend I was like, "Here, you're going mod racing." So he went stock, super stock for like a half a season, and right into mod. So, or stock appearing. So it was crazy how that adventure went. But I think you'll do very, very well in that in that class. It's fun.
Hmm.
And that and Ben and his family, the two girls, I've never seen two girls so competitive in my life. They're like two different personalities. The both girls are very nice and sweet, and and then they get on the track and they're just like, they'll just cut your throat, man. They will race you. It's
Yeah.
crazy. You know what I mean? I mean, it's crazy. So, but that whole family is just phenomenal.
Mhm,
And when they come racing and stuff, and that's kind of rubbed off on Trevor and I and
mhm,
Shane and you
mhm,
guys. We kind of keep that going, and
mhm,
I've we've helped Addie and you guys. I've helped Wyatt, you
mhm.
know, but it's great, man. I love seeing this. This is just so great. This is what we wanted. So
So Phil,
Addie,
so yeah, ask her that
Addie,
question. Ask her that question. She's on now.
before you froze up, I said last year I remember one incident with you that I come to your dad and I was like, "Hey, you need to tell your damn daughter to quit driving like a maniac out there because she is just crashing everybody." Do you remember
Yeah,
that race? And I
yeah,
come to you and you wasn't even out of the cart yet, and I just start ripping into you, and I was like, "This girl's going to hate me." She's literally going to hate me. But I went to your dad first, and I was like, "Hey, you got to go talk to Addie." And he was like, "Oh no, you go talk to her." And I was like, "All right, but it might not be pretty, you know what I mean?" So, but I just wanted to let that was my one of my big highlights last year is I ripped into you, and then you go out there, and then you're like driving, and you're completely different the way you should have been in the first place.
yeah. I get a little bit competitive, just a little bit.
Well, I think we all do, but that was one of mine. So I just wanted to let you know that, like, that was truly one of mine. Like, I standing there and I just shake my head, and then Ben looks at me, and I look at Ben, and Ben's like, "That girl is just pushing him off the cart, off the track." And I was like, "I'll go say something," you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
that's great. What memories we have, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Hmm.
I
What
know.
memories?
I know. One for me with you, Adeline, is you probably know which night it is. It was the night when Gamma and Paul were up from St. Louis.
Hmm.
You remember that night?
Hmm.
And we worked really hard on your cart and stuff like that, and you won the race on the final corner.
Hmm.
Remember that race?
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that night.
Yep. I don't remember exactly, but I do remember I was battling with somebody the whole entire race. The same person I was battling and battling and battling. And just at the last second, on the last corner, I passed them and I was like, yes.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I got one for Wyatt.
Yep.
So Wyatt, you go down to River Valley, right? And
Mhm.
what was your expectations going there? First of all,
I
never being
honestly,
there before.
I honestly didn't think it was going to be. Considering it was a full on backyard track, I thought it was going to be rougher than hell. Um, which I mean, he's doing some improvements to the track, but I honestly thought that it was going to be like, no, I'm not going to be able to like this. I looked at the track and I was like, oh goodness, this thing is tiny.
Now, did you look at it online, or is this like when you very first got there?
I looked at it online and I was like, okay, that's a decent sized track. But then when I got there, I was like, this is small.
Yeah, but man, you know what I love about that track? I'm going to be honest. What I love about that track is not a jug run. It's not a
Yeah,
little musky.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? It
yeah,
is full blown. The dude built it in his backyard, and it is
yeah.
fast. It
Mhm,
is fast,
mhm,
and it's so unique. Like
Hmm.
no other track you go to is like that, and
mm-mm,
it's just a unique track. You
mhm.
got to figure it out,
Yep.
but
Hmm.
once you figure it out, man, you can move on that track, and
Mhm,
it's not a one lane track. It's not a
mm,
2 lane track. I mean, you can literally get three, possibly three and a half, 4 lanes on that track and run.
mhm.
And but it's fast.
And
It's
and 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 that
fast.
and that line changes too, because I
Oh
remember
God, does it ever?
the very first night that you and I which we're talking about at River Valley, is that with the very first night we went up there, I kind of hugged down a little bit, and I thought I was kind of quick. We went out there a second night, it seemed like me being like in the middle of the track was a little bit faster than we ran the Halloween Havoc. I'm using the whole entire track, high, low. It didn't matter. And then there's when I was running some of my best laps when I was
Mhm.
utilizing the entire track, and
Yes.
and and that's just a stop,
I
cart.
I I just personally like that track. It's
Mhm.
fun.
It's fun. It's a fun track.
It changes. Now
It changes.
Jug will change on you.
It
If you
will.
get up in the faster classes,
Mhm.
I can't speak for the stock very much because like
It does sometimes. It does. It does. It's still a low bottom.
it changes drastically for the stock appearing and the super stock classes. Like
Mhm.
it's just like the lanes change, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Your
Yeah.
lines change. And but my God, dude, the feeling you get on that track
Mhm.
running and the speed that you get up to and the banking
Mhm.
is just incredible.
It is a fun track.
It's unbelievable track.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I mean, I love both of those tracks. I mean,
Mhm.
my home track is Jug. I'll always tell
Mhm.
you that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
River Valley, when
Mhm.
we very first went there, I was like, "Oh my God,
Mhm.
could you?" I even looked at Shane. I was like, "Could you imagine having an event here
Mhm.
where even if you don't have stock appearing or super stock, it's all stock?
Mhm.
Do you imagine the race that you would have?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
It was
if
fun.
it and to be honest, that night that we did that, I was like, I was impressed because I was like, there was no freaking cautions in the
Mhm.
stock.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, we
I
didn't
was
have
like,
very many. Yeah.
it was like, oh my God, this is some of the best clean
Mhm.
racing, competitive
Mhm.
racing that I had seen for a
Mhm.
long time. And it was like one person would lead the next lap, here comes another one, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? And it was always moving. But
Mhm.
getting back to that, Wyatt, when you went out there for the feature, it was a competitive feature race, very
Yeah.
competitive. So before you went out there, was you like, oh man, I got this in the bag, or was you like, oh my God, I've got some
Well,
stiff competition?
whenever I ran my heat, I started getting the line down. I started kind of figuring out my line. And then I'm gonna be totally honest. I completely in the feature just stole Charlie's line, and he was pretty pissed off about it. But I could just hear him behind me. I was like, okay, yep, I'm gonna stick to this. Going up that hill, it's like I pull away, and then going about from the top all the way down, I can just hear him coming up next to me.
Mhm.
But that was, I'd say that was like probably one of the most competitive races that I've ever been.
Yeah.
That's what Brian did to me in the regular stock class.
Yeah.
Because I led quite a bit, but then he got me on the one time, and I was like, dang it. And he just held that line that I was running because he sat behind me and watched my line. And I
Right.
didn't have enough laps to get back to him. So, but yeah,
Okay.
you're right.
So Addie, so with your endeavor in the kart racing,
Mhm.
you from the very first time you went out there to now, you're obviously like so devoted to this.
Mhm.
And so what's your future? What do you want to do? Like,
I am. I'm gonna try to get into this trade school for diesel mechanic to study more about bigger motors, and then I'm gonna try to get into a racing college and get into late models.
so are you want to be a wrench turner or do you want to drive?
I want to drive.
You want to drive the late model.
Mhm.
That is your goal.
Mhm.
Wow. So you're going to school to learn how to wrench
Mhm.
and work on them. And then
Mhm.
you're going to go and you're going to further your education to learn how to work on them and learn all that stuff. Get with the team. And then your final goal is to go out and race them.
Yep.
That is freaking fantastic. Love
And
it.
I tell you what, I not to have a big head or be biased or anything like this, but that girl right there has she how can I say this and without kind of earlier, like I said, tearing up a little bit, but she makes me so proud. I mean, this girl has, um, if she's got her mind to something, you're not stopping her. I don't care who
Right.
you are, you're not stopping her. And her and I, we had our battles.
Mm.
We've had our ups, we've had our downs. We've had moments to where I just wanted to wring her neck. But at the end of the day, this she as I said, if she's devoted to something, she has her mindset to it, you're not stopping her when it
Right.
comes to
Right.
anything. And I just when I see that devotion that she wants to put in it, I want to sock everything I have to invest in her.
Good.
Yeah, I will
Well,
invest in her.
that's what you're supposed to do, right, Dad?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But
So,
she makes me proud every single day. She really
all right.
does. And from her schooling to what she wants to do in her future and everything like that, she's amazing. She really is.
Good. Wyatt, same question to you, man. What does now that you're devoted into this, you're won a couple races, you already said that you're ready to invest and stay in this, but what's your future? What's your racing future look like? What are your plans?
I just plan on going to newer tracks and then trying to be competitive there, and then just trying to like these big races, like indoor races that are like this winter polar bear bash.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Getting into those that are, some of the bigger type of races where there's going to be a lot more carts there. I feel like getting into those and then trying to do my best and then trying to get more competitive in those. I feel like that is more of my future with the racing and stuff. And then later on down the road, getting up to with the mods, run with the big boys. Um, Mainly just getting to the other tracks. Um, I still want to go and race at Jug Run, and I still want to go and race over at River Valley. Um, but just mainly the tracks, you know.
Nice. Well, I mean, I love both of your guys' answers to those, man. I mean, they're fantastic. It sounds like we all got a bright future ahead of us. But I do want to say this, like Trevor did, right? And he said that every experienced driver in super stock stays humble and doesn't expect to win every night. But I'll tell you, those wins in super stock feel pretty dang good. That's what he wrote. He's won a couple of them, so he would know. You know what I mean? It's like I said, man. That's a tough class. Um, I mean, you can do it. Anybody can do anything. So I can't wait to see what you guys got coming up for 2025. So you are going to the Bowler Bash or the
Yes,
Polar
I am.
Bash. Nice. You ready?
Getting there, getting there. I had the go kart all tore apart. Just getting it back together and getting it running.
Right. I mean, what are we? I do believe that's the 11th, ain't it?
Yeah.
Shane, I can't hear you. I do believe that is the
Every
11th.
yeah,
Yeah,
it is
it is the
January
11th,
11th. Yes,
and
correct.
that's Bear and Charlie are
Yes,
putting
correct.
that on down there.
Correct.
Yep.
We'll talk about that too. I mean, we can all
Yep.
talk about that. I think that's going to
Yep.
be a great show.
It is. It
As
is.
long as the weather holds out for those guys,
Yep.
I'm going to go down. I'm not racing. I'm going to go down and I'm going to watch and maybe
Mhm.
interview some of those guys down there, get their take on it and
Mhm.
feel about it. But I'm glad that they put that on, and I
Mhm.
hope that it turns into a bigger
Mhm.
event for those guys for next year.
Mhm.
Is what I'm
Mhm.
hoping. Like I know, like I've talked to them a couple times. I know that I know their parking, the indoor
Right.
has already sold out.
Mhm.
I shared for Bear and them that their spots
Mhm.
were available for them to. I posted that on the Flat Cart Mafia page for those guys. I'm just
Here.
helping those guys out,
Here you go.
man. Like um,
Yeah.
really pushing for everybody that can go run it. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. Go run it, man. And the more people they get there, the better, because that's really a good event. That's going to be good. It's an indoor series.
Mhm.
Not very much goes on in the winter around here.
No.
And if that can keep you racing, hey
Mhm.
man, let's go racing, right?
Yeah, I'll keep sharing some more of their information and stuff like
Right,
that. I don't know if anybody's actually listening. If they do listen to this later on and stuff like that, they need any more information on this
right,
polar bear event going on. Let Phil and I know. Hey, we're interested. I don't know how to figure this stuff out. We'll lead you in the right direction because we want
right.
everybody there. Because we've talked to both, Bear offline and Gary on here last week with two brothers. So,
Right.
we want you there.
Yeah, that's just it. We want you to go. I'm glad you're going. Who else is going to, Wyatt? You know anybody else is going?
Actually, yeah, Charlie and Brian, they're going.
Oh, really?
Oh, they are.
Oh,
Oh man,
wow.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to have to go down there and root
Man.
on my buddies down there.
Hey,
Go down
I
there and
want
kick some ass.
somebody to send me videos.
I
I
plan on videoing it
I
all
want
while I'm down
videos.
there.
I'll try to
I'm
get somebody to get videos.
Okay, I
yeah
want videos. I want to see it because after that event, I want to hear from the drivers that's been there, that raced it and stuff like that. So be ready for whoever's listening. I'll probably get a hold of you as being guest on here.
yeah. We need to go. Jarrett Jarrett just
Yeah.
messaged, man. I
I
got to
see that.
read it. He was like, I would love to go if somebody would just talk to my parents.
Ah, hey,
Well,
hey,
I mean,
Bride of
we could try
Kathy,
to make
come
it.
on,
Come
let
on,
him
get
go.
him to go. Let him go.
Come
Let him
on,
go.
come
Wyatt,
on. Hey,
can we put
Jared,
him in the back of the pickup truck or something? Get him down there.
Jared, go
I
take
mean, we
your
could see
phone,
about it.
computer
I
out.
mean, it's a $20 entry fee. I'll pay Jared's entry fee if his parents will let him go and run. I
Yeah,
mean, I mean, why not? Get him down there.
yeah.
Let's all make a petition. Let's get Jarrett to go down to the polar bear bash.
And as I
Let-
said, that's one thing Phil and I, when we said we made this podcast, is man, we want drivers everywhere at every track.
yeah,
We have the capability now of learning about all these other tracks from Thunderbolt to River Valley to
Two
Jug to Two
brothers.
Brothers. So so far, these are the guests that we've had on. I've got more. I'm lining up, but to be honest with you, we race Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now in the winter, oh come on, you can't get it much better than that.
It's so funny. Trevor just messaged on there, and he was like, "You just need a way there because we can make that happen for sure." I'll tell you what, I will go up and get Jarrett that morning and put him in the back of my pickup truck, and I will take him down there if that's what it takes. If his parents will let him go, and I'll pay for his entry fee if
Uh-huh.
that's what it takes.
I know Addie thought about it, but right now with everything going on and stuff like that, I know my father's said he's the one that's taken over some of her
Right?
Ohio and cart, but I do believe that they want to go down and I think they're going to go down and watch it and stuff like that, which is a pretty cool idea.
Yeah,
So,
man. I'm going down there to watch
mhm,
and to get content for here, and I want to talk about it because it's a big thing for us kart racers.
mhm,
There's nothing really around here for us in the winter.
mhm,
And I mean, there is, but I mean, this is huge. So it's a big thing for them. It's a big thing for us. So
mhm.
uh
And
I just
they're very excited to get this kicked off. I mean, I've seen
yeah,
post after post after post
yeah.
of those guys, and it's awesome. What they're trying to establish down there.
So are you running the Predator series down here, Wyatt? Is that what you're gonna
Yeah,
do?
I'm doing the Predator. Well, it's they have the Predator box stock, which is what Charlie and Brian
Mhm,
and Draven. That's what
mhm.
they're gonna run. Draven, he's running I think the advanced like kids class.
Okay.
And
Oh, so
then I'm gonna
Drevin's
be
going
running.
too.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Drevin's going?
so
Good.
I think that I'm gonna be running the. Well, I know for a fact I am running it because I'm gonna keep the mode that's on. Uh, it's called like I think it's open.
Mhm,
I think it's
mhm,
like open clone or something like
mhm.
that.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's a small block open.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Great. So we
So I
I will get with Jarrett because he doesn't know what to run. We'll find you something to run up there. You
Mhm.
can run the Predator class with with all those guys.
And
I
look,
mean,
go ahead.
He's got a clone
I
motor
told him,
too.
yeah, he's got that clone motor that's got the
Yeah,
he took over to River Valley,
yeah, he's got the clone motor.
Hmm.
So we could
so he can run
the
with
clone.
me.
Yeah, he could put the clone on there, and he'll go out there and kick Wyatt's ass.
Ah,
Hey, you calm down.
No, I look, man. I'm dead serious. If that's what the boy needs, I'll get him there, one way or another. If I have to drive all the way up there and get him, put him in the back of the truck, that's what we'll do, and we'll get him there, and I will pay for it just to let that young man go run.
mhm. Yeah,
I'm not
that's
running. Why
that's what
not?
that's what what's why we call it a racing family. But it doesn't matter. We'll find a way. If there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, man. We
Hmm.
will figure it out. We'll get him. We got how many days we got? What, like 8 days?
Uh,
9 days? Something like that.
I do know Tuesday's the first. I do know that. So then what's that? 2 days. So what? We got 11, 12, 13, 13, about 13, 14 days, somewhere right around there
Right, right.
for that
So
event.
so
So
we'll definitely get him there one way or another. I don't care. I don't care if we throw him on the top of Wyatt's trailer. We'll get him there.
There's
or
room up there.
Huh?
There's some room up there.
Man, we'll figure it out. We'll get him there. I mean, I love that he wants to go race, man, and if he really wants to do it, I'll talk to him, and if so, I'll get a hold of Bear and Garrett and make sure that they have a spot for him.
mhm.
So
Yeah, did they ever say, which I want to try to get with them, get a little bit more information and stuff like that, if they have like a cart limit or
I don't
anything
know if they
like
do or
that.
not. It's a good
I don't
question.
know. So that's something I'll either you or I will get with either one of those two. I imagine them guys aren't kind of listening today. They're doing that what Daytona race. I seen the Bear
Well,
was.
I know Bear is down at Daytona.
Yeah, yeah. So I imagine I knew they were listening last week, but we'll get that information out there too to see if they have a cart limit, which I doubt if they do.
I doubt if they do either.
Yeah,
But
they did. They said it was open to the public.
yeah,
Obviously, if
so
they're advertising for it, it's open to the
right.
public.
So we'll get him down there one way or another. I mean,
Hmm. Yeah,
we'll enter
absolutely.
him as a flat cart mafia entry. How's that?
Yes, exactly. Let's build that
Yep.
group up.
We'll,
We'll
yep.
have our own
No, no,
racing
no,
team.
no, outlaw. You're on my show, bud. You're
Yeah,
on my show.
yeah, exactly, exactly. You've been adopted.
Yeah, you've been adopted by us, bud.
Hmm. Hmm. But
you
the as a,
you can
go ahead.
have your own brand. We have ours.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Trevor said he didn't see anything right now where they have a limit or anything like that, but we want to pack. We want to help pack the house down
I
there.
just want it to be big. That way they can build off of it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they can have a place next year for everybody to go to in the winter.
Hmm.
Yep.
Maybe that'll change a little bit of everybody's strategy and saying,
Hmm.
well, maybe I won't put my third new motor on and I'll just go down and I'll wait for the winter series. See,
Hmm.
that's how that
Hmm.
works.
Hmm.
That's what we're kind of hoping for.
Yeah, that's what we told them last week or whatever you guys need us to do to kind of help you out to build this up. We'll do what we can. And they said the same with us. If if we need any help with stuff like that, they're more than happy to
Right,
help us out.
right.
So it's a
I mean,
family.
yeah, it's a family, man. That's the way it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? And build on it and move on it
Hmm.
and go, man. So Wyatt, I have a question for you. Are you working on sponsorship this year, or are you just any movement in
Um,
that, or
I'm not totally sure yet. I haven't really been kind of paying attention to that. I've just been paying attention to myself, my team, my cart, and mainly my family and friends and everything. So I don't really know about sponsors yet, but hopefully,
Hmm.
right? So okay, so who's all on your team for
we got
everybody that
Charlie
doesn't know?
Sargent, we got Brian Crum, and then we got Little Dragon Crumb.
That's a pretty stout team right there you got
Mhm.
there.
Mhm.
I
I
mean,
think I've raced
that's
against
a
two
stout.
of. I've raced against Brian quite often. Him and I, we have a history sometimes of
Yeah.
battling back and forth. He stole a
Yeah.
win from me.
Yeah, I heard about that. That
Oh,
was
ooh,
Yeah, he stole a win
oh.
from me. No, he got me fair and square. I left
Well,
that door open and he took it.
yeah, hey man, that's racing, man.
Yep.
You wait, you sit back here in second or third place, and you just wait for everybody in front of you to screw up, and you just take
That's what
advantage of
happened.
it.
That's what
So
happened.
I mean, I love Charlie and them guys
Yeah.
and the Crumb family in
Yep.
whole. They're fantastic, good
Yep.
people.
They are.
That's a good race team, man. That's a
It is.
really damn good race team that you got there.
Mhm.
So you're all going to the Polar Bear.
yep.
So where else in 2025 are you thinking about going to besides Jug?
Definitely probably Honda Hills and
Okay.
also I-70.
Ooh, you're going to go down to I-70.
Yeah.
Nice. What made you pick I-70?
Well, we kind of got mentioned it to us um by Bob Wright,
Mhm.
Okay.
and he was kind of talking about how the track is. It's got some slope to it, so we were kind of thinking about it a little bit. So I still got to talk with my team a little bit, but I'm pretty certain that we will go.
Nice. Nice. So okay, so and obviously you're going to go to Jug.
Yeah, we'll go there, here,
Yeah.
and there. We'll just kind of split everything up.
So is your whole team going to these racetracks with you, or is it just you venturing out by yourself, or
Mainly just all of us kind of going together. Just kind of go
wow?
there and whoop some ass.
I like it.
Okay, like it, love it.
So, real quick question. I got one from here from John from out there at River Valley. That hat that you're sporting, is that something that you sell?
Is it something
Or
what?
that you sell? Or and where'd you get it from?
So I have a guy. He's outside of Fredericktown,
Mhm.
uh, and he does all kinds of custom work and stuff. So I'm actually getting with him and making a deal on kind of getting hats, getting some in stock, and then uh, hopefully getting them sold out to people. Delivery, taking it to the post office and getting it mailed out.
So,
Uh,
could you? So that being said,
whatever I
that be,
can do to kind of get my brand out there.
mhm. That being said,
Nice.
I'll send you my address. So if you got shipping, it's a nice looking hat. But yeah, John was asking that, and then I'll have one more real quick question. It looks like it's coming from Trevor. If there's one thing you could change in the karting world as a whole, what would that be and why? Well, something that you would want to change.
Honestly, I've a lot of people have asked me that. I
Mhm.
would like to change, like, at some places, like the atmosphere, the type of people, um, because there's a lot of races that you go to, and then everyone is just a complete asshole. Um, I'm not a big fan of them type people because like us beginners that kind of just got into it, like maybe last year or this year, it's our second year going into it. Like there's all these assholes out there, and they are supposed to be like our role models.
Hmm.
They're supposed to be like the ones that are kind of, you know, they basically show you how to race. They go out on the track, and then like if you ever need to ask for help, and uh, I mean, you guys are amazing people, and so is my team. And I would like to. It's the atmosphere that I would like to change if I could.
Hmm. That's something
So,
that holds near and dear to my heart because we've been helped along. Because I understand where you're kind of coming from because when I first kind of got into it, that being said, I've had some ones that pretty much said, "Why uh, have you even been to a race? Why are you?"
right, right,
It kind of made me feel like an idiot instead of like I asked genuine questions. It's almost like why are you even asking these questions? If you don't know these answers, why are you even doing the sport? And it really
Exactly.
turned me kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. And I was fortunate enough to run into a great group of people that seen that I was very, very inexperienced and helped me along the way. And I gravitate towards those people. And but yeah, I understand where you're kind of coming from a little bit when it comes to that. Yeah, I'm new, dude. I don't know everything. Uh, how I may need a little bit of help.
Well, I'm glad you guys brought that up because, like, Trevor and we still have questions.
Hmm.
I've just surrounded myself with the people that I trust and that I race with, and we all ask those questions because there's stuff that I'm still learning on the fly. I'm still
Hmm.
learning, and I've always asked those questions. And I have one guy in particular that I call, and I don't understand this or understand that, and I'm always pointed in the right direction. So, yeah, I'm with him, man. Like
Hmm.
I've watched it, you know, about not wanting to help somebody,
Hmm.
and I've never understood that because, like, to me, I want the absolute best competition out there as a racer that I
Hmm.
can have.
Hmm.
And if you two are in my class and I give you the knowledge or I help you one little bit and now we are racing off of turn
Hmm.
3 and turn 4 for a finish, and
Hmm.
regardless of who wins, the competition is what drives it, right? So
Yeah.
we're all I just made you guys better,
Hmm.
but the thing is you're going to make me better
Hmm.
because now you're more competitive. And I mean that's what it's all about. Like I can give you so many incidents where, I mean, I've only been able to race my son maybe one or two times. You know what I mean? And it's
Hmm.
always a fierce competition there, but that's a father and son thing, and that brings out the best of both of us. But
Hmm.
like, there's guys in my class that I run that totally just bring out the best competition in each and every one of us. You know what I mean? And then if you look at the other stock appearing class, it's the same way.
Hmm.
And then if you look at the stock, it's the same way,
Hmm.
but you got to have those people that want to help
Hmm.
and want to give the knowledge that they've learned and to make it better. That's the only way we make this sport better is by helping each other and teaching the next person what we got taught. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's what it's all about. So I'm with you, Wyatt. That's 100%.
Yep.
I mean, we have to do that. So
Yep.
I'm with you, man.
Because I did that
Shane,
with
okay,
Brian.
yeah,
Brian and I, we're competitors, man. I mean, there's times that him and I go back and forth, back and forth. He's running over
right.
my pits. Hey, man, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? I'm not hiding anything. This is what
No,
I'm running.
why? Well, I mean, there's some things that, like, as a competitor, I won't say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's not like it's a big secret or
Yeah.
anything. It's just there's
Yeah.
some things that I found that works really, really well for me.
Hmm.
I
Exactly.
just don't. I just don't want it to work for you. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the competitor side
Yeah.
of me. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? But at the end of the day, I will tell you. Like at the end of the night, you could come over and you're like, "Hey, man, what did you do?" And I'll tell you. But during that race, I'm not going to tell you. I'm just
Yeah.
going to be like, "I don't know, man. I'm going to try this." You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you what I did because I want you to try it next week because I might come up with something different, or you know what I mean. So I mean, that's the way it is. I mean, it's just I hate that shit, man. I hate that with a
I don't like it.
freaking passion, man. I hate it so bad. I
I
mean,
do too.
there's other things in this small little world that we all live in that I hate, and I'll just tackle them one thing at a time. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
I'm with you. That's a good one, man. That
It
is
was.
probably one of the best ones to
Hmm.
get. Shane,
Yeah.
what? Same question to you.
Was one thing I'd change?
Yeah.
So with oh man, I guess for myself, what I would change from Shane's perspective in the karting world. Oh goodness. I keep going back to this is if we could get I know it's going to be a broken record over and over again. If we could find that class from that age group from a kids advanced class from leaving their plate going to a stock class that aren't quite ready to make that transition but are a little too old to be on a plate to being too inexperienced to being out there in a stock class. There's that gap. And sometimes you have those people in there that aren't ready to be in a stock, but are too old to be on a plate. If we could, but I know a lot of tracks don't have a lot of people in that
Right.
group, but I also think that's a good target group to get more racers in that group. Of hey, I'm an 18-year-old boy. I just like to go fast.
Right.
I'm a 17, 15-year-old boy. I like to go fast. You know dang well a 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old isn't going to put a plate on their cart. But also, are they ready to be out there in a stock class? Not quite yet, maybe.
Right.
Maybe it's but if if we could get a group and build a group for that gap class, like a rookie stock class or
Hey
something
man,
like that.
you could be the inventor of that class. Just put
Yeah,
it together.
yeah, because as I said, Addie, who that's why Addie had to hop off. Her phone ended up dying, but she's in that group. Too, she's past that point of advanced kids class
Right.
plates, but yet she's not quite ready to be in a stock class out there with 10 to 15 carts.
Right.
And I don't. She goes out there with that 10 to 15 carts, and I'm not saying it will happen to her, but it will happen to somebody else where they get so discouraged that they're getting pushed off the track. They're
Right.
finished. They're getting lapped several times. We want to build their confidence. We want to build them up to be experienced drivers. So yeah, that's me. That's just me. As I said, it's a broken record for me. That
Right.
gap between kids and stock. What about you,
Yeah.
Phil?
Oh man, my list is long. But the one pet peeve that I have about this sport is you have I'm trying to be professional about this. You have some engine builders that just take advantage of new people.
We talked about that earlier.
And what I mean by that is they go to these guys and they just I can build you a stock motor. Well, I'm sorry. I am not a engine builder, you know what I mean? Like world class engine builder or anything like that. But I do not understand how you can build a stock motor.
You can't.
Stock motor to me is taking the damn thing out of the box, putting your flywheel on it if that's what the rules last you, taking the governor out of it, and disconnecting the oil sensor. Put it on your cart and run it.
Hmm. That's it.
That's it. That is stock.
Stock.
Now I do not know. Yeah, I've heard all the bullshit. Oh, you can micron this and you can make this and you can do this. Bullshit. You're
That's not
not
stock.
you're that's not stock. Stock to me is what come in the motor from the factory out of the box. Quit taking advantage of these people and quit charging them to take a stock motor that you say that you are building and they're going to go fast and they're going to win races because you're full of shit. Absolute
Absolutely.
full of shit. The only way you're going to change their winning is to build them something that nobody else has, and they're going to outrun everybody. And I'm
Hmm.
I'm telling you guys, I It is absolutely horrible that these guys do this. I mean,
It-
I've had phone calls. I've talked to guys.
It's
It's
happened.
absolutely horrible. It happens. I know of 2 or 3 people that
Mhm.
this has happened to personally, and I think it's wrong. I would never, ever go to a racetrack and say, Shane, I know this is your first time out here. You didn't look too good, but damn it, I can build you a stock motor. And I just kills me that
And me
they're
and me being naive, being new to the sport, not knowing all
hell
the
yeah.
rules, I want to be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't see these guys going to anybody else that's been racing and say, yeah, hey, Wyatt, hey, buddy, I could build you a stock motor. And I would expect Wyatt to say, dude, get the hell away from me, because there's nothing
Yeah.
stock about building a motor. It's not stock once you start building it. How are you going to build it? Answer that. How are you going to build it? You can't. You can't.
No.
I don't give a shit what you say. You can't do it. And if you are, shame on you for doing it.
Yep.
Because you know what? You should take the damn box, take it out of the box. Like I said, put your flywheel on there, disconnect your oil sensor, take your governor out there, put your ass in the cart, and go out there and see who's better. That's what makes it a fair race. Not that you went out there and you put 13-pound springs in it that you're not allowed, or you took the carburetor and you drilled this and you drilled that, and you know what I mean? Like, you can't do that shit. And for an engine builder to do that, you're a piece of shit.
And you
Shouldn't
know,
happen.
no, and I'll add that, and if you are one of those people who are new to this sport and don't know how to do those things that Phil just talked about by doing a governor delete and replacing your cast to an aluminum flywheel, stuff like that. You can get a hold of one of us, Phil, myself. We'll send you in the right direction to somebody that can help you in the proper right way
Right.
to do those things if you don't know how to do them. Okay.
No, hold on.
It's not.
Hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
There is stock replacement parts. Right?
Yes.
There is
Yes.
stock replacement parts that you can go on NR. You can go on all these race and parts places. There is stock replacement parts, right? And you can build you a motor. But what they're talking about, the rules is talking about, is take the damn thing out the box.
Mm-hmm.
Not send it off to an engine builder and have them put aftermarket parts in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's not building an engine, man.
No.
Building an engine is building an engine. You want to build a motor, build a super stock motor, or build a stock appearing motor, or a big ass open motor, or a big block clone motor, or just build a clone if you want to build something. Because you just can't go out and buy a clone. You build them, right?
Yeah, you build them.
Don't sit there and say, well, I went to Harbor Freight and I bought this 212 and I sent it to Jerry's auto shop and they built me a stock motor. Bullshit. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You ain't nothing stock about that, boys. Nothing
Nope.
stock about that.
No, I'm glad you brought that up because as I said, it's a shame, and the guys that you were talking about, I know them too, and these guys are very new. They're don't take advantage of people, man. Come on, it's just a horrible.
Okay.
And if it continues, we'll call you out.
Right. So
We'll call you out. I'm not worried about it. We'll call you out. Go ahead.
Not
Phil.
to get off this subject or anything, but I just got a text from somebody
Yeah.
that Charlie's last comment in here, that the guys at the Polar Bash, they are combining the out of the box motor and the Ohio Valley Predator Championship class no weight rule for the for out of the box motors.
Yep.
I'm just clarifying that up.
Yeah, I just
that they are combining that. So please, if you're gonna run that, man, you can do it. Let's get the guys there.
Yep.
Let's get them there. And going back, I seen Jarrett said something that he needed a aluminum flywheel or and stuff like that. According to these rules, I
Mhm.
don't think he needs aluminum flywheel. If I'm reading that rule correctly, and if I'm wrong, please somebody correct me. But if he is, we'll find you aluminum flywheel, and I got a brand new out of the box motor sitting in my building.
Yeah.
That's got 7 laps on it.
I might have a.
Me
I
too.
think I probably have aluminum flywheel laying around too.
I
so.
just need to
But
get him a weenie pipe. I don't have one of those little things, but I'm pretty sure we can
Yeah.
scrounge up enough stuff to get him on the track if that's what it takes. You got one, Wyatt?
No, I was gonna say if you don't want to run a weenie pipe, you are allowed to run the stock muffler.
The stock muffler. That's
Yeah,
what I
you
thought
can
too.
run
I
the
was going to
stock,
say
yeah.
that. Yep. So let's get him to the race. I'm going to go back tonight, and I'm going to find all their stuff that we need, and I'll post it on the Flat Cart Mafia also. That
Mhm.
way we're all on the same page, and that way we can get guys there that think that they're not legit, that they are legit. That way
Mhm.
we can stock that place up with racers and get them in there and
Yep.
have put on a good show, because I'm definitely looking forward to it. Like I said, it's exciting this time of the year. Usually we're all sitting around moping, everybody
Yeah. Yeah.
looking at their carts all in 100 million pieces, scratching their head like, where do we start now? But looks like, yeah, it looks like now that those two guys were able to put something together to get at least one race in for the
Mhm.
winter,
Yep.
which is absolutely fantastic. Everybody, you go and check that flyer out, and you can go to Bear's website, his
Yep.
Facebook. You can get that information. You can go to Two Brothers and get that information. I'm going to post it again tonight after this is over with,
Same here.
and I'm just going to post. If he's listening, anybody from that organization is listening, if you still have parking spots available, please message me and let me know, and I'll repost it again. That way, hopefully we can get that sold out for you.
And then I
I'm
wanted to
working
ask
on,
real quick. Now there is no cart limit. There's no cutoff point. It's
I
an
just
open
looked at the
invite.
flyer. I just looked at the flyer, and it does not say anything about that, but
Okay.
that is a good question. I know somebody, I'm not going to say who, is watching. So hopefully that gentleman.
He just said no cart limit.
Okay,
So
so there you go. There's no cart limit.
no cart limit. Awesome.
Um,
Pack the
and the
house.
guy and the guy we're talking about is Bear,
Yeah.
which is great, man. Send me everything you can. I'll make sure that we help you pack that place on the 11th. I do believe that is the date.
Yeah.
And we will get that on there for them, and anything else they got coming up. Hopefully we can have a little workmanship here together. What's up? What you got? You don't have to raise your hand.
Also-
We're not in school, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for my turn here.
Just jump in, man.
Just jump in, man.
I just want to say, make sure you guys also, everyone that's watching, wake up at a good time, because gates open at 8:30, drivers meeting at 10, and then I'm guessing right after that we just start racing. So that is the time.
I mean, I will ask him that if they are going to go straight into racing after the drivers meeting, or are they going to do track prep. I plan on talking to them two sometime this week, just to get more information out, because our next show, I do believe it's just going to be me and Shane on here shooting the crap.
Yeah.
I will give all that information, because it's getting closer and closer for those guys to pack that place out there. Practice is at 11 a.m., he has said.
7 a.m.
So 7 a.m. is practice at that event.
Cow.
So seems like they're going to run a pretty tight ship racing that. I'm assuming, I could be wrong, but I'm assuming they're expecting a pretty big turnout. And they should be letting everybody know, okay, his gates do open up at 8 a.m. I'm assuming they did say something. I do believe that they are going to have a pre-registration on sometime early. I think it was the 5th. They were going to start taking pre-registration. I could be wrong. If you're listening, if that's right, please let me know. If it's a different date, please let me know, and I will say it. We are just trying to make sure that we get you everything we can.
So
Yes, I am correct. The registration is on the 5th for pre-registration for that event. So everybody, if you're going to go register on the 5th. Give those guys a good head count of what to expect. That way they can make the proper adjustments if anything's needed. Shane, your headset's not working again.
so they're doing a pre-registration, right? Is that what you're
Yes,
saying?
on the 5th.
On the 5th.
On the
Okay.
5th.
Gotcha.
Again, if you are listening or listening at a later date, go on there and pre-register. Give those guys a little bit of a heads up to what to expect, and that way they can adjust accordingly.
Awesome.
So,
Sounds
it's
great.
it kind of gave those guys a very short window to put this together, and I think they're doing a really good job. And so I do believe Charlie, the pre-registration is going to come out either through Two Brothers or Bear.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe they're going to put that on their Facebook.
And
I
then
do believe.
and then if it's out there too, we'll try to have it on our site too.
Yeah, as soon as they do that, we'll definitely share it. So that's a good thing. Like I said, man, we're not against nobody here. We're here to grow the sport. I want to be an ambassador to the sport and grow it and take young racers and make them into big time racers. And hey, man, I'm not getting no old, no younger, but I'm telling you, I'm going to race until one of y'all, either I die in that thing or you have to drag me out of it. So
yeah,
that's
exactly.
how I am. And it's not going to change at all. But mad props, man, to those guys putting that race on. And
thank you.
I mean, that's phenomenal. I mean, I mean, it's great. It's great. Like I sometime in the near future, I will be putting on one, but it is what it is. I will support those guys because I want to see racing
everywhere.
Even if I'm not racing in it, I want to go see racing, and I'm going to go out there. I'm not going to race, but I can guarantee your ass I will be out there, and I will be supporting the local jug run guys like normal, them and them teams. I will do my damnest to get Jarrett there one way or another. Somehow, we will get him there.
Yep.
I'm just telling you, we will get him there.
We just don't. We want everybody to hit everything, And if it's just one time a year, 2 times a year, we just want all these track owners to know that, hey, we got your back. We'll send you some guys if we can. We will get your name out there if they haven't heard of you. Now you have.
Right. Well,
so,
I mean,
and I've got CJ Speedways, which I just started getting with them. That's another track owner and stuff that I will be scheduling sometime in the near future. So
can't wait to have him on.
Yep. I will get with you sometime here in the near future. As I said, next week with everything that's going on in my personal life and stuff like that. Phil and I will be doing some just chit chatting back and forth, promoting some things and stuff like that. So I'll try to get you, CJ, on Speedway on here real shortly, and a few other guests too.
Hey, I tell you what I like to do, man. I would like to get a bunch of us together and just do a following to like a month. This all go to all these backyard tracks and just run it.
Yeah,
because they're all different. You know what I mean? I know, like, you got River Valley. I do believe CJ Speedway. That is a backyard track. Get all these Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt is backyard. I mean, you get all these backyard tracks and just go out there and just let them dig, man. Just make those little motors dig and come out. That'd be great. Maybe that's something I'll get with these guys, and maybe not this year, but the following year, maybe I'll be able to put something together for that. That's something that I've always thought, and I've always kind of wanted to work on that and stuff. I know, like, this is huge, man. It's turning around. It's we're promoting stuff here. Never thought that we would be here. Never
Wow.
really honestly thought that anybody would ever listen to two old fart
Really?
talking about go-kart racing. And
Well,
I'm just I gotta say this. I'm going to say this to somebody told me today that go-kart racing is not a race. They are not racers. Those guys that drive them are not racers. And they know who they are, and I know they're watching. We are racers. We are racers. I'm telling you that right now. We are racers, and we take offense to your comment that we are not racers because in my own mind, I'm the baddest son of a bitch out there. You know what I mean?
All right,
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. It's either you're going to turn into Dukes of Hazzard out there,
yeah.
and you're going to put on a show by wrecking,
Yep.
you know, which you know, or you're going to put on a show because you just whipped somebody's ass, and that's the way
Yeah.
I'm going to look at it, and that's the way I'm going to keep it.
I tell you what though. Also too, I want to thank everybody for
Hi, Jacob.
the comments, because honestly, when I envision this podcast too, is also fan and listener interaction. So
Right.
don't ever feel like you're interrupting the show by messaging
No.
myself or Phil or any any of us, even our guests.
Right.
Because you guys are also making this show. You're
Yep.
making it what it is. The more fan interaction we have in this podcast, the better it is. The better it is. But please,
And hot
keep
chicken,
coming.
you are right. I have heard the same rumblings through the grapevine that Dixie Hollow will reopen this year. If that is the case, that will be another great track to go visit. If nobody's ever been there, Trevor and I have the pleasure of being there one, maybe two other times. It's a great track, great facility. Those guys put on a great place for everybody to run. I know we got Jarrett from Jug Run coming up here in a few weeks because he's going to announce the schedule that they have put together.
Didn't Blake say something that he's got for Thunderbolt? His schedule's coming
February.
up too. February. I seen that. His schedule's
So
coming up too.
I am going to let you guys know here first that I've been working with Jarrett, and I am going to put on Halloween Havoc at Jug Run on October the 25th. So I got permission from him. It's already been done. We've just been waiting, and I have chose to take that event to Jug Run next year or this year. So that's big for me. I like it. They've actually given me the opportunity to put that show on out there, and that's where it's going to go. And there might be a kicker to that I am not allowed to say yet because it's between me and somebody else. That might be a little bit bigger implications on that race than what everybody thinks. So Shane knows what it is.
Yep.
So hey man, you know what, man? I'm just kind of falling into this promoter thing, and I kind of really like it.
Hey,
man.
listen.
You
Also,
know?
too, real quick. So you're talking about this whole setting up events and stuff like that. So I told you my dates of coming back to Ohio, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I know some people are listening too at the track. Hey, Jared, get with them. So on July,
nice name drop there, Shane.
I'm going to drop it. I don't care. So because we're camping by the track anyway, so that's where our campsite is. It's up in Warsaw, Ohio. So on July 4th, I want to see an event.
I would like to see a 2-day event for that weekend.
I want to see something for July 4th for when I come back up that way.
Hey, I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm just going to throw this out there. If anybody's listening from a track that
any track,
how about a Firecracker 80 for stock class? It's a 2-day event, and the final race, the final is an 80
Like a
lapper to
qualifier.
win
Like
it
a
all.
qualifier. You
Yes.
qualify to get in.
Yeah, you qualify on Friday, you make the A main, everybody races to the A main, and then on Saturday night on that weekend, since it's a big weekend, you
Can we
have
make
an
it happen?
80 lap have an 80 lap dash for the feature win. How
Can we
about
make it?
that?
Somebody.
I don't know.
Somebody.
So if anybody wants to put that together, please contact Flat Cart Mafia,
we'll do what we can.
because I've thought about that, and Shane and I put our heads together, so you never know what happens, but it would be a great race for a 2-day race. You got to qualify on Friday and Saturday, and then Saturday evening, we want it at night. It'd be an 80 lap dash for the win. How about that, boys and girls?
And
Let's put it together.
let's set the field by your qualifiers the night before.
And the thing is, I don't even run stock, but you never know. I might put a stock on there just to go out and run that race. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I might show up to the track with like 3 different motors that weekend. You never know what the hell's going to happen on that one. You know what I mean? But hey,
listen.
anybody wants to put that together, please, seriously, and all joking aside, please contact Flat Cart Mafia or myself, and let's work on putting that together. So I think it'd be a great addition.
Because Phil, I'll build you a great stock motor for that race, okay?
You will, but you don't know gearing.
No. I'll build you a great stock motor.
250-pound guy, let's put him on a 60.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Exactly.
So like seriously, I really want to put that race together, and I'm excited about Halloween Havoc because it was a big thing, turned out to be big at River Valley, and the opportunity came for me to take it to Jug Run, which is, everybody knows that's my home track, and I'm going to support them, as I will River Valley. Maybe we can put together something else there. But I'm really fond of that race, just because me and Shane worked our ass off to make that happen. And I would love for that to happen, but I also want to build the Firecracker 80 for an 80 lap race for the feature. So
yep. It's all for fun, guys. It's all for fun. But
yes.
So we'll wrap this thing up. So anyway, Phil,
Wyatt, thank you for coming. Thank you
problem.
for the insight for next year. We'll can't wait to see what you do. I'm looking to follow you throughout your career now. I know you and I've got some business to take care of here, and
yes, sir.
We'll definitely make that happen.
Yep.
We'll figure out. Okay. You know what I mean? I'll call you, or you can call me anytime. You know that, so we can make that happen. But you have a good night, sir.
Yep.
I'm going to drop you down, and me and Shane are going to finish the show out. Is that all right with you?
Yep. All right.
Thank you.
You got anything for us?
No, but I will get with you guys if I need anything.
All
right, buddy. You have a good night. Thank you for taking your time and coming up here and chit chatting. Thank you. Great. You did great. Did great. Thank you, buddy. You have a good night. Bye-bye.
You too.
Thank you.
So, hey man, I just want to take this time and wish you the best of luck on your endeavors down there, and wish you the best of luck, and hope that you get your karting stuff down there and set the world on fire down there in old Savannah, Georgia. And kick some ass and stuff. And we'll be up here holding down the home front and kicking some ass up here.
Yep.
And when you are down there, and if you're not racing, hey man, just take all the video and ask the drivers questions, man. That way we can put stuff together for this, because that's what I'm going to do up here. And we are on a
Say hi, Mama.
Really good... Hey, there she is. How you feeling? I heard you was sick.
She's doing a lot better. She's feeling a lot better.
Good.
The ammonia is finally leaving the Mauer house. Thank gosh.
Well, you brought that crap in your house. So
I did. I was the first one with it. But yeah, that's one of our biggest things is when we get down there is more or less just
Right.
just learning the scene, and then hopefully I could send what I'm learning down up this way, and just we're going to be coast to coast, not coast to coast, but we want to cover the East Coast.
Well, I mean,
Well,
look, man, our goal is here, man, is the guys that you meet down there.
yeah,
I want them on the show. That way we can get a very good perspective of what they do down there because it's completely different down there.
I've heard that. Yeah,
Diff,
I've heard
different race surface.
that.
I do believe a lot of their tracks down there is Georgia clay.
Yep.
So I'd be interested to hear about that,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll keep it going strong up here on the home
Mhm.
front.
Mhm.
Man, we'll make it work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
And then
try
I'll
to
just
get you it.
go ahead. Go ahead. No, you go.
I was going to say that we'll when I know your schedule and when you're coming back up, which I already know it, but we'll
Yeah.
try to work together with some of
Mhm.
these tracks, and we can put
Mhm.
on some good events,
Mm-hmm.
and because we're kind of seems like we're starting to head down that road a little bit. So
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
you
with
know
all
what I
the
mean?
what's great about it, as I said, my biggest thing, and I want to use this as our catchphrase for Flat Cart Mafia is support your local track.
Hell yeah, man.
Support your
That is
local
it.
track. That's going to be our motto.
It is
Support
our
your local
motto.
track. Support your local
Yep.
track.
It is our motto, man. I mean, I didn't start this to make any money. I did it because I have passion for this damn sport,
We all do.
and
And
it
it's
is what
showing.
it is, man.
It's showing with our comments, our fans tapping into us, messaging us, and stuff like that. I can't stress it enough. I want that.
You know
I
what's
want that.
what's so ironic about this? As soon as we started this, right? Like I had people message me, man. I didn't even know. You
I
know
know.
what I mean? And they're
Uh,
like having a conversation with me like I've known them for like 20 years.
I
And
don't know this
you
person.
know, I'm like,
But
okay,
I
yeah, I
love it.
don't know this
I
person. I
love
mean,
it.
I've had that conversation plenty of times with Carrie. I'm like, I don't know who this dude is. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? But
But
hey,
we're getting
I love it.
we're getting to know them too.
I love it. Yeah, that's exactly. We're getting to know them and
Mhm.
bringing them into this small family community, as Trevor says. Because
Mhm.
I mean, it is a community. You know, I mean, this is
It is.
it's a
We love you
community,
guys.
man.
We love all you guys.
And yeah, love it. I mean, you know, absolutely, absolutely. Everybody that wants to go to the Polar Bash again,
Yep.
it's the first time they're doing it indoors.
Mhm.
Let's all go. I don't care if you just want to go watch. Just go
Mhm.
watch.
Go watch.
Go watch it. Go watch it and support those guys because, you know, if you don't support them, there won't be no indoor series next year. You know what I mean? So all you racers out there that are following us or tell your friends that are racers, man, go to that race. Go to
Go to
that
it.
race.
Go check it out.
Who cares if you get your ass handed to you on the track? Go to that race. Seriously. Because you know what? If there's not enough of those guys around that go do it, there might not be another one. So you might as well help it and support it as you can and get them out there and
Yep.
and and do
Exactly.
their thing. You know what I mean? Do
Mhm.
their thing. And we all need to come together and just support your local track. Like you said, that's our
So
motto.
support a local track, and we'll say I'll end my side of this is once again I want to thank all of our listeners. I try to keep. It got to the point where it was hard for me to keep up with some of the message boards. It was very active today. I love it,
Yes.
uh, and I want to see this every week. I want fan interaction. Um, so thank you guys who stuck with the technical difficulties at the beginning of the show. We
Yeah.
apologize.
That
Uh,
storm was pretty nasty that rolled through here. So
yeah, we thank you for sticking out and stuff like that. But next week we'll be back again. Can't
yep.
get rid of us.
Nope. We're not going nowhere.
Not going nowhere.
We're not going nowhere. Might be a
So,
boring one, but we're not going nowhere.
what?
You never know. Maybe we can get old man River John to come and join us because you know he turns He turns a big 5-0 this week.
Oh, let's do that. Hey,
So
John.
let's
John, you
John.
on here? John.
Yeah, he's on here. He's in the comments. That's the reason I said it. So hey, John, you know, you gotta come and
You're on.
kind
You're on.
of
That's
join
fun.
the show for your birthday week there, buddy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can drink your bourbon and smoke your cigar, you little Ron White, you. You know what I mean?
I love it.
I love it.
I love it.
I love it.
So that's what we'll do. It sounds good for next week. And as I said, you know, if CJ Speedways, I will reach out to you here shortly, get some information on you. And there's a few other track owners that are on my list. I'll get with you guys here shortly. But yeah, January for Flat Cart Mafia, it's looking great. I've got a great list of guests lined up for January. So everybody from my family to yours, have a wonderful, happy new year. Phil, you have a happy new year.
You too, buddy. Be safe going down there on Tuesday. From my family to everybody out there listening, everybody have a wonderful new year. Don't do nothing stupid.
No.
Keep
it simple, stupid.
Yeah, just keep it simple, stupid. I feel like Red Foreman sometimes. I think the only thing I'm missing is I'm going to put my foot up your ass comment. I might have to start working that in there somehow.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
But,
there you go.
But yeah. But I do want to say that CJ from CJ Speedway just said that karting has its own language, and yes, it does. It strongly does.
It really does.
But hey, man, everybody, thank you again. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be here. Share, and like everything that we're doing on here, and let us grow, because the more we grow, the better it gets, and we can try to get some of those bigger guys on here, like, you know, Cobra Tires and Burris Tires, and you know, those are the guys I want to get on here also, just because I want to pick their brain, and I want to have that very competitive conversation with them of why everything is different. And, you know, I want to learn it. So I think that's the kind of stuff. I am working with a clutch manufacturer to get them on here that everybody regularly uses. We've been in talks for a couple of days now, so that might be coming down the pike too. Very, 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 that will be a very good podcast, because they're going to talk about maintenance, how to keep up on maintenance, what to do, what not to do. That's what we started this for, was this basic information. So everybody have a very, very wonderful, wonderful night. And can't wait to see you guys again next week, Shane. Again, be careful, my brother.
Will do, bud.
On your safe travels down. Everybody have a great new year.
See you guys later.
See you guys later.
Only thing that's on my mind is who's gonna run this town tonight.
Yeah, I said it, we are. This is Rock Nation. Pledge your allegiance.